even though Spacestation got to that good start, Rival maintained their composure. And how impressive is that? They get 3-0'd, right, by Dignitas in the last set. They come in, and Spacestation get off to a hot start, and they remain composed. They're able to find their opening, seize it, and then move on. I mean, that's got to give them a ton of confidence going into game 2.
I think that Rival is definitely the embodiment of you win some, you lose some. And no matter what, they're going to try and take it on the chin and then look to bounce back in the very next set. They're not a team that tilts particularly quickly or heavily even. I think that they just fully understood Dig outplayed. That's pretty much it. There's really no further analysis that needs to be done. Dig just played out of their minds. They were insane. They were animals. And, well, now you just got to try and bring it back so you can get your chance for redemption.
Bans looking very similar here as we move into the picks and bans for Game 2 Tacos. Rival versus Spacestation with their tournament lives on the line. Right now, Giannis was banned by Rival in that first ban. Ra and Athena were the bans for Spacestation last time. Let's see if they adjust, as now their Circuit is being banned. That's exactly what they did last time.
And wise decisions on both sides,
Here's
except that is one very similar adjustment to what we saw happening between Dignitas and Rival earlier, where Dig opted to ban away the Terra. But I like that Spacestation are removing this Terra, because even though they found some nice picks on the Achilles and were able to burst him out, that Earth and Fury is just not fun to try and deal with. And we saw just how much damage that Terra Ultimate was providing in some of those close quarter engagements. So just better in the long term to try and strip that pick away.
Yeah, we were just talking about it in the green room, man. It's damage increase for your team, damage decrease for the other team. It's a heal for your team. It's a burst damage for the other team, a burst heal for your team. It's a ton that Earth and Fury is able to do now that it's been reworked. But this is what was banned in its place in Game 1. The Athena and Collis happy to grab that one for himself.
No real surprises here either. I am thinking that there's some possibilities for an Achilles Poseidon draw up here. I do think that we haven't seen any Poseidon today, and considering he's been the mainstream pick for a while, instead it's going to be the Ratatoskr.
And the Achilles coming out together. So that means we're likely going to be seeing the Achilles go over to solo, and Rat going to be played by Andy. So this is going to give them some semi-global presence to try and match what Collis is going to be doing on the Athena. And then we already saw how well this Achilles could be piloted as well. Tons of damage early.
Well, there's the Poseidon that we were waiting for. I had a feeling that if Spacestation didn't take it, Rival would not hesitate. And for a good reason. This is just the kind of composition that they love to run. And Spacestation, I do believe that they're going to try and commit to this double hunter composition. I wouldn't really want to call it a salty run back by any means for Baskin. I mean, it was just a one game that had a bit of an unfortunate ending, but I do like the adjustments that we're seeing out of Spacestation already. Taking away the Terra, taking away the Odin, so really looking to try and keep these jungle fights as open as possible.
Wow, we kind of moved. The pace is increased in these picks and bans. They knew exactly what they wanted, did these two teams. Hachiman, Poseidon coming in for Rival. Rat, Ullr coming in for Spacestation.
Ban the Nemesis.
And they need to ban this Nemesis, I agree. It looked so good last game, right? So don't allow Andy to play this and feel comfortable like he did in that first game.
No, it's not even that. Spacestation need to ban Nemesis.
Oh, Spacestation ban the Nemesis,
because then if Rival get their perfection, like that's their trifecta, the Nemesis, Poseidon, Athena combination. I mean, that's what toppled Dignitas quite some time ago at that initial Super Regionals LAN. It's just such a potent combination, and well, Spacestation aren't going to have to worry about it because they knew it as well.
They have that Nemesis off the table, and that's what Rival does so well, right? Is they work together as that unit, right? Instead of having, you know, five separate ultras, they've got, you know, those 5 big kits all at once happening in a team fight instead of maybe like 1 or 2. So take that off the table, some of that synergy they have so well, and then Rival going to take off the Jingwei that BaRRaCCuDDa's really been enjoying in the Hunter role.
Which still makes sense because Jingwei has a lot of survivability and can prevent a lot of split push. But here's the Fafnir that we were looking for in Game 1, leading me to further assume that this will in fact be a double hunter composition because that's what Fafnir tends to stick out the most, I feel, is just being able to really emphasize on this double hunter damage.
We'll see as long as he's able to make sure they still have plenty of control in the fights with those hammer stuns, then there shouldn't be a problem here from BaRRaCCuDDa as long as, or from JeffHindla, as long as he's able to make sure he lands all those. Opwash being hovered yet again by Rival.
It's a prank.
Probably not going to end up actually being picked, but they are at least looking at it. So we'll see where they actually end up going, as they already have banned away a lot of the stuff that Spacestation want to do. They can't go with the Odin Nemesis that was so strong in the last game. They still need potentially a solo laner and then their jungler. A lot of options available for the jungle if they want to go that route.
You won't.
No, they're not going to pick out Watch. I don't know.
Rival
they're still
won't.
hovering on it, but they're
no
not
chance.
No.
Deathwalker thinks he's a little prankster. I swear.
Well, he is a little prankster, but he thinks this is funny, and I mean, it's not that funny. I don't know.
It was a lot more funny when he actually picked it.
Right, he was actually playing it and doing well
when
with the Outwash
when he
pick,
actually took solo Outwash and was just like unreasonable top damage. Rival though,
and he was
gonna
literally like
on.
tanky, right? And he's still doing all that.
Exactly.
Get out of here. Yeah.
Solo lane Outwash fun, but we all knew that wasn't going to be the case. I love this Vamana pickup though for Rival. Vamana, I think, one of the more underutilized warriors when it comes to all these double hunter compositions, might potentially dissuade Spacestation from wanting to fully commit to a double hunter comp even, because Vamana is just so excellent at standing right in front of a hunter and making sure that their life is a living hell, especially Ullr.
What an annoying team, though, right? The Athena taunt, the whirlpool coming out from the Poseidon, the tail whip, and the slows from lurking in the water, the slows from Vamana with the umbrella and the knock-up when he dashes through. This is a very disruptive and annoying team that Rival have drafted. You do not want to deal with this.
You've got plucks, you've got taunts, you've got stuns from the Hachiman even on that Aijutsu. Just so much setup for Wlfy on the Poseidon, and you can already kind of assume that Wlfy's going to be capable of landing the whirlpools by himself. I like that he's going for this Poseidon pickup, though. I think that Poseidon is certainly one of those staple statement picks for Wlfy nowadays, considering that everyone always references that one or the couple of performances that have ended up costing them really important sets. And Spacestation, they're still feeling pretty good about this Artemis, and for good reason. I think even in the game one, you could see the value in how much damage he was actually able to exert.
But this is going to be scary. There's something going into the Sobek and into the Vamana. And this does mean, though, that we are likely going to be seeing Vamana in the jungle role that we're thinking here for Ice, as they already have the Athena and the Sobek on the table for them. So not going to be easy for this Artemis to do the same damage we saw last game.
Spacestation just trying to live life on the edge right now. That's the way I look at it. They've got a best of 5 here. So even if this ends up being a flop for them, I would hope that they would start to stray a little bit more away from these double hunter comps and then go back to some of the more traditional standards, just since they're battling up against EU. But for right now, as it is, I mean, Spacestation aren't in an awful position right now. This is still something that they can experiment with.
Well, we'll see if Spacestation are going to be able to grab this win. Can you quick give me, you think it's going to be Spacestation taking game 2 or Rival go up 2-0?
Rival's composition is nasty.
It is pretty gross. So Rival 2-0, that's the way we're leaning here on the desk. Let's go ahead and give it over to Hindu Man and Anatoly.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm not so sure, Tolly.
So?
I'm really feeling Rival's comp here. I think Rival got pretty much almost everything they would ever want.
I agree with you here. The desk was also on Rival's side of things, and I'm feeling the control is definitely going to be the playing point here. The defensive control from Rival against the aggressive Spacestation style didn't work out in game number 1. Is Spacestation making those adaptations here?
Get your votes in. Let us know who you think will win. We'll talk about once we get into this game. One small little talking point we were having was whether it would be Athena in the support role, which I can't see it not being because it's Callus. But they could have put the Vamana solo and the Sobek in the support role as well. Chose not to here. So it's going to be Deathwalker on the Sobek and iceicebaby taking a page out of Wlfy's book.
Deathwalker's smiling too here. They realize what Spacestation are up to right around the corner. It's like, nah, you're not going to catch me. I'm right here under my tier 2 tower, no problem. But Vamana in the jungle. If your name is not Wlfy, I'm not really sure who else jungles this god consistently. I think stand for soccer as well. But yeah, iceicebaby, I haven't really seen this much out of him. So switching things up a lot with the Nemesis being banned away here that SSG wanted to make sure they wouldn't deal with. Allows this Vamana that's going to stick on this Artemis in the late game.
64% believe Rival will take this game, and if they did get that Nemesis, I think it would have been in the bag almost. But Poseidon for Wlfy this game it shuts down so many things that Space Station can potentially try and do with just the Whirlpools alone.
That's right. That cripple is going to prevent Andinster or Aquarius from coming through. Look at this 5-man gang squad.
Oh, as Wlfy spotted it, he has now. He turns around and whacks Aquarius. Aquarius and Andy's still going to go aggressive, though. 3 men were in the mid lane from Space Station 2. Pressuring the wave, and Wlfy's like, where do I go? Do I go right? Do I go left? What am I supposed to do?
This is a hard command from Space Station. I don't know if this is the play you're going to be doing here. They did get the mid wave. They are stripping away the red. If they don't get the speed, this has been a failure for Space Station.
Trying to put Vamana behind is the game plan here, and he will lose the speed buff. Andinster steals it away. After the red buff, they're going to go straight towards the purple. Baskin's trying to defend the red. Hair second too late there. So this was a very interesting start out of Space Station. It's not done yet, and he's still invading.
If iceicebaby can at least steal the big one here with his second armored umbrella, he did get that one at the very least. Baskin is right around the corner. He's looking for the stun, but iceicebaby recognizing it, blinking. It's a safety.
But there's not much in the jungle now for Rival to really do. Vote and Callus returning back to the duel lane, going aggressive on BaRRaCCuDDa. Beats had to be used because of the Ijutsu, and Vote had to return the favor. Now Callus in a bit of pressure there, and a big crit from BaRRaCCuDDa will slow down Rival for a moment. Action everywhere.
Action indeed everywhere. Rival respecting the full wave here. Deathwalker with Aquarius preoccupied with the wave has enough time to go and steal the blue buff. A Guardian, let alone Sobek doing this to a warrior, is almost unheard of.
But this is still putting Vamana behind, and I think that's been the key from this outset here, Tolly. He's level 1 still, and nearly 2 minutes in the game as the Vamana. The only thing in the jungle available for him is the blue buff. So the focus was make sure this baby doesn't get big.
I understand the style of shutting down a jungler because in Season 5 especially, junglers dictating the pacing of the game. But a Vamana, I'm not really too worried.
Oh, Blinkin from Andy, and still level 1 for Ice. He wants level 2 and will get it. Big Creep's still alive, and that could be stolen away in the right time. I think Ice did secure that there with the dash.
And Andinster just not able to steal away those back camps, not getting that level 3. If he did, he would have prevented some healing from iceicebaby, preventing him from getting level 2 to get that dash. It would have been an easy first blood. Space Station very aggressive still, like the same exact way they were in the first game.
Jeff gets torn in, Ijutsu too, but has his leap available to get back to safety. Nice bit of body blocking from BaRRaCCuDDa there as he eats a couple of autos. And once again, Space Station steal away the red. They don't get the speed this time, however.
No, but there's no blink here from Andinster. Not going to be able to defend their own red buff. No, they are going to try to go for it here. They're not going to go for the oracles.
Callus and Vote a little bit overextended here. No support from anybody around. Looking towards Callus first of all, who eats the Acon spot, avoids the stun. And Andy goes aggressive on Vote.
Oh, the stun! The stun mid-dash. There goes the taunt as well. Andinster going to retreat into safety here. Baskin with the first blood.
Wlfy on the rotation now, looking to try and make something happen, but it's too little too late. Space Station end up getting the first blood, going the way of Baskin, and picking up the kill onto Vote after the very aggressive decision there from Rival to invade the red buff.
Vote had red in his eyes there. Once he saw the dash was already down here from Andinster, he's like, all right, I'm just going to dash you, but that stun halfway through from Jeff prevents the second part of the Ijutsu to engage that stun. Either way, Vote was dead there unless he kind of dashed into his own Tier 1 middle tower, but Rival, by losing that first blood, they're still not terribly behind here. They're still consistently trading buff for buffs.
Deathwalker looking to try and put a bit more pressure on Aquarius there with the lurk in the waters. Mainly looking to zone him away from the creeps more than anything else and make sure he denied couple of gold to the tower.
Experience per minute here, Andinster trying to strip away the jungle here from iceicebaby, but look at the experience per minute. They're still tied almost. It's a 50 experience differential here as Andy's securing his own speed buff, but iceicebaby speed coming up in less than 1 minute.
And now both level 4, so not really a big impact towards iceicebaby. Space Station getting that 1 kill on Baskin, though, means he's got his Transcendence online nice and quick, and now it's time for, Rival have to play around that a little bit in the mid lane now, because that Transcendence is a huge power spike for an Ullr.
And he was very aggressive in the first game, trying to bully out Wlfy's Raijin, making a lot of plays happen. This time around, Wlfy playing a little bit back here on this Poseidon, trying to finish off the boots before that Shaman's Ring, and Space Station with a double hunter want to secure both of their reds.
Third red buff in a row stolen away. Torn on from Callus. Can they get the beads out of Baskin? Kraken hits onto him from Wlfy, and that's a dead mid laner. Answered back from Rival.
Just reading them like a book. The aggression is falling into Rival's favor here as they return the favor. They are now on the board, basically tying up the game. And I like the fact that Wlfy is the one that even got the kill here, trying to shut down Baskin. Is going to allow that power spike plays happening here. There's so many different power spikes for Wlfy because of the way he built, going in for the Shaman's Ring, probably going to go for that Gem of Isolation immediately after.
So nice 1-to-1, and Wlfy will be back towards the mid lane again. Wards down for both of the teams to see vision on either side of what the mid laners are up to. JeffHindla about to hit level 5 soon enough, as Callus already level 5 and has that blessing completed now too.
Spacestation, I don't assume that they're going to go for more of these red buff invades, but they will look for aggression. Stun onto Callus, andinster in the sky, but he doesn't go
he went for
onto
Wlfy.
Callus.
He went for Wlfy instead, and the split difference could cost him a kill overall, but no! Andy just about answers back there. That could have been a calamity. In the end, it works out very fruitful for Spacestation.
Recognizing that the Kraken was still on cooldown, that was a very easy cleanup kill here for Spacestation, taking what Rival left behind in that previous red buff invade, and now going to look for even more potential ganks here. Red buff respawning in about 45 seconds or so. I wouldn't be surprised if Spacestation still kind of go for it.
Yeah, sneaky little play from andinster here, looking to abuse the situation of finding that kill, going into the jungle, stealing away the blue. Deathwalker at half health, going to walk into his jungle and meet andinster. The axe from Baskin missed. On the juke out from Aquarius is ult, but he can't stop the rain of arrows, killing the crocodile. 3-to-1. Baskin's rotation makes an impact.
Fatal Strike, not available now, so iceicebaby looking for some cleanup, but everyone's too healthy. andinster, without much mana to do anything about it, does have the blink to be used defensively, but Baskin will secure those backs before the invade comes through.
Baskin,
but
no
Rival
beads.
wants to go for something here.
Can he get in range for the taunt? That's what he's after. If he makes it, the Kraken's waiting, but the taunt just after mark. Baskin would have been dead to
Line of sight.
JeffHindla now here to help turn this around. Baskin going back in with no mana.
Not very
Surprised by this.
But will force out the defender of Olympus here into safety. He goes. The tier 2 tower is where Deathwalker was waiting for him. Not going to find the speed buff invade. I thought that if they were not going to find Baskin there, that the speed buff was at least available as andinster backed in that solo lane. But the taunt, it was in range of Baskin, but as he turned around the corner of that tier 2 tower, there is a line of sight issue there, so he wasn't able to confirm that ability.
So unfortunate situation there. Everybody ends up surviving. Rival would have liked to find a kill onto Baskin, punish those beads a bit more, but now those beads are back up. Though, on the left-hand side, avoids the hammer, very importantly so, otherwise that may have cost him his beads there. So BaRRa's just back to farm up with Jeff a little bit more. Though not really have many options here. Purple buff was up on the left-hand side, but you don't want to go in there on your own in a 2v1.
I mean, he's already going in 2v1. He's literally pushing BaRRa and Jeff into their own tier 1 tower. The vision control from both teams is pretty important behind the goal here, and that's why it's split down the middle here between the top and the north side. Rival not going to be looking for any sort of left side invades. Still just kind of waiting for Spacestation to keep forcing some issues.
Yeah, I think the big situation now is just relics being on cooldown. Andy not having his blink means he'll probably wait around a little bit. Same for Wlfy. No Aegis up at the moment. He needs to wait around before getting aggressive again, just in case he does get jumped on.
Look at the builds, though, between Aquarius and andinster. Hold that thought, though. Baskin gets taunted in here, needs to jump away. andinster's in the sky waiting, though.
Still got his beads there, Baskin, and in comes Andy, but Andy doesn't find his target, neither does that Kraken from Wlfy. Callus on the run, trying to get away, and should be able to do so before Jeff and Baskin can continue chasing to support Andy.
25 more seconds on that blink, so that could be the goal here, as Wlfy's Kraken not available. Stolen away.
Stole that. Nice work, Aquarius.
Against the lurking in the water. That's so unfortunate.
Is that damage? I mean, damage from lurking in the water is definitely more so than that of the cone damage.
Oh, absolutely.
Out, right?
Yeah, it was mistimed, absolutely, here, coming from Deathwalker. But the thing is, you have to worry about the combat dodge, you have to worry about that shield as well. So there's so many abilities being thrown that you could definitely force a premature detonation from Deathwalker and squeeze in the last hit.
Well, last game, Spacestation were up a little bit, and Rival fought back into it, and this is the same sort of situation. We'll see if Rival can do the same. Looking towards Aquarius right now. iceicebaby on this right-hand side, mainly looking towards the farm. Bit of poke coming out from Deathwalker, and iceicebaby's just going to walk away. He's not interested in trying to pick off this Achilles.
A little bit of a disconnect here, really respecting the potential rotation from andinster that has the blink available. Ultimate still not available, though, for andinster as he picks up his own speed buff now, making the rotation on the right side of the map. And iceicebaby is more concerned about securing his own speed buff.
Definitely interesting to see the fact that they're sharing solo waves here, Rival, with Deathwalker and iceicebaby. Both now hitting level 9, but he has given Aquarius a lead in this lane because of that, as he is level 10. Wlfy in mid is dead before he can even get the Aegis off. His stun was long enough to pick up the kill.
Same exact story like game 1 on the Ryzen here. It was one Ullr's axe stun that allowed all the follow-up damage. Even Cal is taking some damage for his troubles here. And this is what Baskin does. He's just going to keep pressuring towers.
Aquarius is just wrapped around the corner there, forcing iceicebaby back, who is out of mana. One of the biggest issues with Vamana at the moment is the amount of mana his abilities do cost. So he's going to have to go back to base regularly. And now Spacestation looking at the goal view, but Vote's going to take a trade with Baskin.
Baskin's going to use those beads here. And andinster needs to retreat. The ultimate damage was used to get the damage off onto Andy. Baskin trying to retreat here. I'm surprised Vote didn't use the ultimate to go into Baskin immediately after the jump.
I'm not going to lie, I think that was a really good play to take on those two characters on his own, but Deathwalker may have overextended now, trying to hide away from the oncoming Spacestation gaming members. It's a little bit too late. JeffHindla has to de-transform. Callis in with a three-man taunt! Jutsu! And there's a Whirlpool! And 2 kills for Vote. That Gold Fury is now looming for Rival.
What a taunt from Callis there. And Rival needed to get something there, sacrificing the life of Deathwalker for the greater good. Aquarius was still rotating from the right side of the map. He was trying to get more waves in. And as a result, Rival, they get the better end of things. They get 3 members and the Gold Fury 11 minutes in.
There's a reason you see this Athena getting taken away from Callis time and time again. What a big impact, but iceicebaby needs to be a little bit careful here. Gonna get chased up by andinster, both with speed, but Callis around the corner. Made Andy hesitate for a moment, and that should be enough to get iceicebaby out of danger and back to the safety of his own half of the map.
Wlfy, without too much mana, needs to retreat. Now, hasn't finished off that Shaman's Ring quite yet. Battle over the blue buff here. Tail Whip will confirm it this time for Deathwalker. Still struggling against Aquarius, but not too much mana to really play with for the Achilles. Needs to worry about that execute without the meditation for another 50 seconds.
Andy on the rotation too. Now look at the water, still available and immediately used by Deathwalker as soon as the blink came through. Aquarius a bit more tower damage than he bargained for, but Spacestation trying to answer back the Gold Fury loss with a Pyromancer.
Sneaky, sneaky. Spacestation are going to walk away with this cleanly. There is no vision for Rival to even respond here. Rival are more content about getting the farm everywhere else here and not worried about even trying to save the life out of Deathwalker. That was basically saved once he used Lurking in the water.
Definitely lots of fights going on here. 12 minutes in, level 12, but Jeff's caught in an awkward spot. iceicebaby has overextended for that. It was an ult-for-ult trade. I don't know about this one, though. Shout out to Paladin signing in.
Trying to make something happen as iceicebaby. It's Wlfy that actually finds Baskin on the offside here. Caught between a rock and a hard place. Those taunts into the Kraken here. His beats were still not available for another 20 seconds. Great timing. Rival are just abusing Baskin's beats.
It's funny enough, it's not often you see Baskin dead 3 times in the first 12 minutes outside of rank.
Well, think about how he was playing the game number 1. He was initiating those team fights for Spacestation. He was in the front line, very accurate with his axe stuns, and they were successful in terms of finding the picks. He still got that kind of feeling that it's game number 1, but it needs to slow it down a little bit.
Andy in the sky looking to gang the duo lane now, and they both divide perfectly to get away from the rat. Instead, the rat took more damage. A great cavalry charge, or archery, I should say, but it won't be enough for a kill. Instead, he nearly ended up dying himself to BaRRaCCuDDa.
Too many missed abilities out of Spacestation. andinster misses his ultimate, the missed hammer stun from JeffHindla, even the missed third ability coming out of BaRRaCCuDDa. It's just easy to escape from Rival, walk away like bandits there. They definitely should have died, or at least use some more relics defensively.
Funny enough though, Tully, still an even game. The gold is pretty much even at this point. Aquarius going to be about damage to the tower here. Deathwalker trying to keep him in there long, and Aquarius still likes this fight. He's loving this fight. The med bait was good. And now Athena's on the way. Aquarius has been baited a little bit too hard here, and this could be his death. The Thorns are going to try and prevent some. The Pluck out may get him out. The Pluck may actually save him.
The sprint is being used from Callis because it wasn't used in the dual lane. Deathwalker cleaning up Aquarius and punishing him for his transgressions. Another clean picking here. Aquarius's death in the first game after that dual lane fight was the result, I think, of that Gold Fury or the Fire Giant for Rival, and then the game.
Ice and Andy are about to go head-to-head in the jungle there. Andy was looking for a blink over the wall to try and put pressure onto Vote. Still hanging around, however, as is JeffHindla now sweeping around the side. iceicebaby's trying to help out Vote, and Vote gets a kill in a 2v1 or 3v2, I should say. 1 for 1 now, though, after he falls down to BaRRaCCuDDa. Callus on the rotation to support iceicebaby. The dragon needs some help.
The knockup was so good to disrupt JeffHindla. Now going to avoid one, but he can't avoid the Kraken. Another kill here. Vote. A lot of experience under his belt. Knew he was dead to rights. Uses his abilities defensively to at least get the kill in return here. And with the rotation from iceicebaby and Callus and Wlfy, you get a second one to boot. This is probably a tier 1 easy.
Be careful, there's people around the corner. He did spot it in time. The taunt not going to be in range. Beads and Aegis still available from BaRRa here. Baskin, meanwhile, in that mid lane, did take the tier 1 tower down. BaRRa's trying to hold on to those beads. He will use his Aegis, however, to avoid some of that damage coming out from Wlfy and hope to defend this tower.
I'm surprised that he used the Aegis, considering that the Kraken was clearly used for JeffHindla. I'm not sure if that was either communicated to him or that he didn't see it, but either way, there was not enough burst damage, just minus the Kraken. Like, Wlfy's full kit minus Kraken does not result in the death from BaRRa.
I do think beads are more important to hold on to there than the Aegis, though, in the grand scheme of things, you know?
All right, so you take 50% of your health. You got Devil Gloves to heal up anyway, so this needs to be more... I think it was a panic Aegis more than anything else.
And hold the beads, because the beads against the taunt is a big situation there. He'll survive for now. 8-6 in favor of Rival. 1 Gulffury down their way, but 1 Pyromancer down the way of Spacestation. Both those objectives will spawn relatively similar times, and the jungle is pretty much stripped of everything available as the Gulffury now respawns.
So if you were to tell me going into this set that Rival has just come off of an 0-3 loss against Dignitas,
you wouldn't believe it.
I would never believe anyone that tells me this. But the way they're playing it, it's as if that they won that last set 3-0.
It does feel that way right now. Still playing with confidence. Hammer out from JeffHindla allows Baskin to get some damage up, but Baskin's going to eat half a Kraken, or at least half his health bar thanks to that Kraken. Beads were consumed by Baskin there as well, though, so that's a big talking point as well, especially when we see this next fight.
This Athena Sobek combination now grouping up here. 16.5 minutes in. Aquarius is going to be the target. He gets whirlpooled and crippled. Blocks back in. You don't need a Kraken for that one.
He's still alive, but Andy in the sky coming down on Wlfy. Big old shell comes into play though, and a meditation to turn it around. iceicebaby in the back is found Baskin, and the beatdown could be on. The baseball bat to the back of his head. Next on the list could be Aquarius, but instead Iceice playing it safe, getting out of tower range. Aquarius needs to run.
Deathwalker's right from behind here. He gets stunned out though, still looking for a pluck, and it will be onto BaRRaCCuDDa instead. The knockup is good. EI Jitsu from Vote will secure the kill.
Andinster trying to zone away the carries, not good enough. He falls down too. All the damage dealers are dead from Spacestation Gaming. And I just mentioned the Gulffury had respawned. Well, it could be looked at any second.
Athena and Sobek, man. Rival got the better trade in the draft. All the engagements heavily favoring out this European side, whether it's the taunt or the pluck. Even the disruption here from the tail whip, it makes it so easy for Rival to continue these engagements.
Look at the team fight recap at the bottom. Look at the damage done. Spacestation did more damage across the team fight. Difference is his Rival had some sustain there too. The shell,
meditation also.
Meditation both made an impact.
That's true. iceicebaby sustaining himself up with his ultimate
Fire
sickening
totally?
strike. This is a little risky here. JeffHindla, he walks right into the Kraken. It was a bait.
JeffHindla will fall down. Pyromancer now being looked at, and that will be taken. Fire Giant though, I think Jeff will accept that. You know, his life for saving the Fire Giant is an important trade.
They actually could have considered the Fire Giant. I think Spacestation were going to give that up.
Gulffury, though, by Spacestation instead. I think you were right. They were going to give it up, but maybe they get away with it. Wlfy turns up in time. Andy to the sky. He's used his ultimate. Has Rival noticed it? They look towards Callus. Wlfy with the knockback.
Trying to go onto Wlfy here. Trying to get away, but Baskin from a distance.
Big fight this for Spacestation. They're going to get 3 kills onto Rival. They themselves could look towards the Fire Giant now.
Definitely can here. It's only Deathwalker in Vote. There is a little bit of burst damage here from that lurking in the water, but they don't have to worry about it if they find this kill.
Deathwalker's got to get away. Vote trying to zone them out too, but Spacestation leaning towards the right-hand side. Pyromancer is down. Double Hunters and a Fafnir.
I don't think that Rival can realistically look for a steal. They just have to slowly disrupt Spacestation, make their life a living hell.
Deathwalker first to go through, gets stunned, and the engagement from Baskin and BaRRa signals that's kind of the idea. Find another pick. Deathwalker's lurking in the waters, uses buying enough time here for the reinforcements of Rival to come through. Callus has arrived, and that is still go time for Space Station.
It's only 75% health. Rival are very content with still pulling this back and forth, abusing JeffHindla's duration of that draconic form. It is about to reset. No Pyromancer, and the sprint. Rival wants to go.
Jeff could be in a bit of trouble here.
He's
Gonna
dead.
be a lot of damage. Oh, he managed to jump away just in time. Don't think he managed to get hit down by that. And now the stun. Vote has to use the beads, but Jeff is gonna live.
I heard the pluck, and I thought for sure he was going to get pulled back in, but nowhere to go for BaRRaCCuDDa. Rival with a 5-on-4.
Andy on the back, though, look towards Wlfy. A great shell from Callus just to dissuade the Rat from continuing the aggression. Now it's time for Rival to head back to the Fire Giant.
So much back and forth action here in the second game of this best-of-5 set. Space Station losing the first one. Rival are looking like they're about to win another one.
Bates Aquarius comes in, and it's removed again from the map. It was a trap.
Just crazy gathering here from Rival. Space Station are throwing everybody one by one. Baskin now is the next victim.
And into the egg as he goes. Beach used too. Looking to get over the wall and will do so. JeffHindla and Andy in amongst this though, looking to bring down the carries. Andy's going to get plucked, but no follow-up damage just yet. Vote and Wlfy both very low. They need to recall. So Space Station now, they get a small chance to breathe, knowing that Rival can't do the Fire Giant themselves.
Baskin was healing off that right side mid-harpies there. I thought for sure he was dead to rights, but that beat barely allowing him enough time to jump over that right side mid-harpy, keeping himself alive long enough for the rest of Space Station to deter Rival from Fire Giant the same way Rival did about 30 seconds earlier.
This meta right now makes it so much fun to watch the pro teams going out because it really is all about team fights. Small mistakes, when you use your relic, who you use your ability on is making such a big impact in this game, and it's all fights. No one is level 20. That's because there's been so much action.
Just so many deaths across the board here. 14-9 in 21 minutes is not a typical slash line you'll see when Rival is a part of that game. Normally will drag on a little bit longer here, but with how aggressive Space Station has been, it allows a lot of counter engagements from Rival, and that's what they've been doing between a lot of these objectives.
Gold Fury started once more. Callus on zone duty, trying to get vision over that wall where possible. Deathwalker gonna walk around that corner, find out the Space Station do not choose to contest that. What do you reckon the reason was? It was relics, really?
It was definitely the relics from Baskin here. Those two relics not available means one Kraken will consume your whole life pool. Same goes for andinster. If andinster lands in the backline without beats or Mad Guy's Cloak, he's gone.
I don't know about this one, boys. JeffHindla did just return to base and pick up a frenzy, but I don't think Andy can get in range. Andy's going to the sky, trying to jump down as fast as he can. Into the pit he goes, into a taunt. Fire Giant's getting low. Fire Giant to Team Rival, and the Rat is dead.
That was so close to actually being a steal. andinster falling, and Rival getting the Fire Giant. Clean and easy now to get this tier 2 tower on the right-hand side. No Gold Fury for Space Station to get on the left. So what do? They're trying to group up and try to get at least a tier 1 tower.
I don't think they can. They've not got the time. They're going to lose a Phoenix. The back units are coming through, but I don't think they're going to be in time, totally. The army of Rival march onto the Phoenix.
Here comes the Heavenly Banner to get 30% attack speed onto Vote. The taunt onto Aquarius. The cripple as well. No Kraken necessary for that kill.
Looking in the war's going to immune the ball, but Vote is forced to beat, and it hits through the whole team. Now Baskin is in here as well, going to try and force them back, but a big meditation. And with the Fire Giant round their way, Space Station are in trouble.
The sprint, JeffHindla's going to get plucked in the taunt as well. Look at iceicebaby grounding and pounding one, going for andinster as well, while the rest of Rival clean up the Phoenix.
JeffHindla plucked back into a dangerous spot. He will be fall for his 4th death of the game.
Are they going to end?
I don't think they can. Let's take it a little bit easy here, Rifle. That would have been a bit too much for themselves. Tier 2 tower. He's definitely available in the mid lane, however. What a big swing. That just leave the Gold Fury. They left it alone. Yep. That makes sense. But the Fire Giant, totally, they were all not expecting it.
Can we look at gold in hand? I'm curious to see how much Rival really has right now after all these objectives. And that's why they're not going for the end. They want to play super safe.
Hold your horses, because I think they can get another Phoenix here. 2 members still dead from Space Station. Deathwalker and, of course, Callus and the Athena available to pick up a kill. They'll look for Baskin if they can. Whirlpool down on Baskin.
No.
Kraken 2. Aegis used. Beat still up. Baskin out. Andy in the sky, but the Phoenix is gone. Down onto 1. Only hits Callus with the ultimate out of Andy. Aquarius in trouble. Gets an execute on Vote. That will slow down Rival for a second.
Still trying to go for more. BaRRaCCuDDa can't go anywhere. He's an Artemis. Deathwalker looking for the pluck here. He takes a lot of damage. That's going to be 3 dead because Callus gets a double. It's now a 4-on-3, but keep in mind, all that gold in hand, Rival want to go back and spend it.
I thought Wlfy just got himself caught there by stepping in that BaRRaCCuDDa trap, but they will limp away. Rival quite happy with the results. Only Vote will not be happy as he fell down, but the team as a whole get 2 Phoenixes out of that fire giant.
And it's a very successful one considering there's still another minute and a half to get the last remaining tier 2 tower in the dual lane and maybe even squeeze out an additional Phoenix.
I think this was comp more than anything else this game.
Absolutely.
Totally. It feels so much about the composition and the picks and bans. Rival have been looking for gods like this all season long wherever possible. The only exception to that rule is the Vamana. There's kind of a new pocket pick for them. The rest, you've seen daily.
Oh yeah, Vamana, it definitely could have been almost any other jungler. In fact, any other jungler would have been better against the opening strategy that Spacestation did at level 1.
But I do think that opening strategy really was because they were playing the Vamana. I don't think they would have done that against any single god. Vamana's clear at the start, a little bit lackluster, I would say, specifically with a Poseidon too. So the opportunity definitely was there for them. Andinster was trying to make a play, and now he could die before he can get to the sky, and that's going to be the case there, unfortunately. 48 seconds on the rat, and that'll be by the time Rival get towards the Phoenix.
Desperation mode here. Spacestation are trying to do anything here, and they can't even get a purple buff and walk away cleanly from it. Rival now still with Fire Giant for 30 seconds. Will secure this tier 2 tower, and they probably have enough time to get another Phoenix with Andy dead for another 30 seconds. They spent all that gold in hand. iceicebaby is the one that went for Ratatoskr with the Emperor's armor.
Baskin's still in right-hand side here, and if they see this Rival, it's a 5-on-3 at this final Phoenix. Deathwalker in, plucks BaRRa into the whirlpool. BaRRa is dead. So is Tusky. Phoenix not even being looked at right now as the Kraken hits onto Jeff. Another kill falls down. Only Baskin and Aquarius available in the Titan room, and they're trying to use abilities defensively more than anything else. Andy back on the map, but the Titan is under pressure.
All the Phoenixes are eliminated. Kraken not available, but neither is Andinster's life. He just respawned to fall down again. Rival go on to try to win their second game here, unless Aquarius and Baskin have something to say about it.
And they don't think they can do anything against this Smite. Rival have taken game 2. A lot of people will look back and go, hey, picks and bans, they need revisiting.
Definitely do here. Sobek and Athena for Rival. They were getting the perfect engagements that they wanted every single time, even with all the pressure onto Deathwalker to start off because of how iceicebaby's jungle started. It definitely didn't snowball the way Spacestation would have wanted to. They started off strong here by stripping away the speed buff, but that level 2 blink play on the back harpies that Andinster tried to get off wasn't successful, and it basically staggered it out. iceicebaby was able to get back into it, and then that mid-game control between double Guardians favored Rival heavily.
Totally. I'm just not so sure about the Ullr pick in the mid lane against Wlfy. Wlfy specifically, because I think Wlfy's god pool is such of like Poseidon, Ra, a lot of gods that can either deal with it well or it's not going to work out against.
There's definitely pros and cons to it, because the pros is that when Baskin hits that axe stun onto Wlfy that goes for Aegis instead of beads, Spacestation are finding that kill, whether it's the Raijin or the Poseidon, so they have merit to it. It's not like they're doing it because like, oh, I win with this in rank.
Of course.
They're actually having a team strategy about it, but without CC immunity here, every single time the speeds was used, that was the next target for Rival.
Who do you think deserved MVP for that game? There was quite a few decent team fights from the whole team. I think Vote actually helped to turn a lot of that around. Really.
I think Callus as well here on that triple taunt at 11 minutes. That was the play. Deathwalker gave up his life to allow Callus to get the triple taunt into the goal here. Rival playing lights out.
2-0 to Rival. Best of 5. Spacestation. Can they come back from this? Desk, we ask you that question.
Great job there, Hindu Man and Anatoly. Finch and Taco here on the desk. Another win for EU as Rival takes down Spacestation. I'm kind of with them. I think Callus could make a case for MVP of that game. He looked so good on that Athena.
Callus is easily the MVP, I would say, just because of the fact that right as Spacestation were starting to really take off with this double hunter composition, almost immediately after it was met with devastation. That triple 3-man taunt by Callus in the duo lane where he wraps everybody in and then Vote immediately jets forward the Aijutsu on the Hachiman and gets the stun into Wlfy damage, and that Poseidon Whirlpool could not have been any better place. Everything just like completely destroyed Spacestation there.
Yeah, the whole game turned around off that play on the dual lane where Callus gets that 3-man taunt, and as such, he is going to be your MVP for Game 2. I think that Mixer Chat got that one exactly correct. He played so well this game. But I actually said out loud, we're back there in the green room, I go, wow, this is a good game for Spacestation as long as they don't, all die here, and then College 3-man taunts them into Whirlpool and EI Jutsu, and then they die. And Rival kind of never let up off the gas after that moment.
I think it's time to retire the double hunter comps.
That sounds fair to me.
EU, Europe in general, has talked about it while here at the LAN. Multiple occasions they've been saying, we don't care. Like, Double Hunter is just flat out not good. And I'm not going to say that Double Hunter is not good entirely. I think that just against Europe in general, they have it a little bit too figured out. I mean, the Vamana, iceicebaby could have probably been way more abusive than what he actually was. He pretty much took BaRRaCCuDDa hostage, though, the entire game and cyberbullied him off the map.
Well, we talked about how Vamana's passive synergizes so well with physical defense, right? You get power, basically, as you build more of it, but he didn't even need to do it. My man was chilling on Hasten Katana for like 8 minutes.
He backed with like 5k gold.
He bought, what was it, Emperor's Armor, he bought Midgardian Mail, and Atalanta's Bow, right?
Yeah, he had the Atalanta's Midgardian Emperor, so he literally backed with like 5,000 something gold in hand, didn't even need it for the majority of the team fights. He's like, whatever, dude, I got Hasten and Thorn, so good luck.
And you talked about it. Vamana does such a good job sticking to them, even without all that extra physical defense.
And that's why it kind of reminiscent of that CLG match, in fact. I was actually talking with Spacestation Sub outside Ghost, and he was like, yeah, it does, like, it's kind of the same thing, except there's no Habois, so there was that, but it was pretty much the same implications with the Vamana. It's just that when you have a god that can afford to just buy thorns and then
just
use the Hasten Katana, you just eat. That's all Ice had to do. He just had to walk at them. Just hold W the whole way through, because you're going to have the follow-up. The rest of the Rival is going to come to you. And with the double hunters, if you weren't able to immediately burst that big baby down, then there's pretty much no point. You're not going to kill him when he's in that ultimate. And most of the time, you don't even want to bother trying to attack him there either.
And that's 2 levels of synergy, too, that you just mentioned. Not only is Ice a baby, but Vamana is the big baby, so there's 2 levels.
I told you, Finch, this happens every time.
Yeah, just have to do it, right? Yeah, every time.
Every time, dude. I can't avoid it.
Yeah, you just walk right into it.
This is my curse.
But Spacestation now twice in a row, Taco, has gotten off to good starts in these games and then not been able to close it out. I mean, what is it that they need to do different? Is it just Rival capitalizing on these opportunities, or are Spacestation leaving the front door open?
I think it's just Rival biding their time until they're ready to fight, until they know that they can fully punish a double hunter composition, because you're never going to really win the early game. That's why North America started running the double hunter so much anyways, because it's all about the early pressure. It's all about heavy buff invades, and while it was an unsuccessful invade against Spacestation, I think that was probably the only reason why Rival were ever even behind in Game 2 here. It's just because they tried to be a little bit too aggressive early on. They're not the ones that are running the double hunter, so it just wasn't as effective. And Spacestation, of course, they're still a strong team, so they're definitely going to punish you if you overstep your boundaries, which they did. And then it was kind of just the total 180 off of that Collis triple taunt play.
And I get why they like this Fafnir, Taco, because of the double hunters, right? But then when you draft a big mage like Poseidon, it's so easy to punish, right? You go up into the Draconic Corruption, and you drop right back down into the Whirlpools. I mean, I'm looking back over the draft, and it just feels like really Rival got exactly what they wanted that game.
Rival had every single guy that they probably could have dreamed of, outside of maybe Deathwalker, because I know for a fact that DW is like resident sleeper whenever he's got to play the Guardian in the solo lane. But you know
he
what?
Was stealing buffs, though.
He's going to have to deal with that. Exactly. You can put up with it for a game or two, Deathwalker, if it means that your team's going to get some wins.
Right.